Hi everyone, I'm Angie. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a very reasonable book haul, or at least I think it's pretty reasonable. There are a lot of book hauls on this website, on this app, that are 20, 30, 40 bucks, and I do love that. I have done one of those myself, that's for sure. I've definitely done at least one that's like more than 20 bucks. Today I'm only going to talk about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 books. That's still a lot of books, I think, that I've recently added to my collection. I'm in a very weird transitional part of my life. Not transitional, I think the transition has happened. Basically, I have moved across the country and I got rid of a lot of my books. Like a lot of them, probably hundreds. I still have hundreds, that's for sure. And like my bookshelves are literally unbelievably full. I kind of don't even have room for these 12 books. But I don't know, I think after a whole year of really being like, I cannot buy any books because of this big move, I don't know, now I just feel like I'm in a place where, you know, I could pick up a couple books here and there, and that's exactly what has happened this year so far. So all of these books have been purchased in my new city of residence, Chicago. Some of them I got during the Chicago bookstore crawl on whatever Saturday that was in April, and I'm very proud to say that I did hit 15 bookstores on that day, and now I get 15% off at all of the participating bookstores the rest of the year. So because of that, there's definitely a very good chance that this is not my last book haul of the year, but it's my first one. I did also walk 30,000 steps on that day. I was absolutely exhausted the following day, but I would do it again, especially if that means that I continue to get 15% off 15% off books. Like, that's a crazy discount. And now I just realized that I went to one of the bookstores this past week and I didn't use my discount card. Anyway, let's just go ahead and get started. Like I said, there are, what did I say, 12 books. I will go in the order that they are presented to me. So no particular order. The first book in this book haul is The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. I haven't read anything by Becky Chambers, but I've been very interested. I feel like I only hear incredible things about her books. She writes sci-fi, which I haven't read too much of, but I'm definitely interested, especially after watching Project Hail Mary, which was an unbelievable movie. I definitely want to read that book as well, but it definitely made me interested in sci-fi. And I was reading her little author biography on the back, and I thought it was very funny. And, you know, obviously authors write their own biography, I'm like pretty sure, but hers is so funny. So Becky Chambers was raised in California as a progeny of an astrobiology educator, an aerospace engineer, and an Apollo-era rocket scientist. An inevitable space enthusiast, she made the obvious choice of studying performing arts. I thought that was very funny of her. Yeah, I've heard great things about this book and honestly all of her books. I think I picked this one up in particular because I'm pretty sure I saw Books and Lala like rave about this when she read it. Like, she really liked it. I love Books and Lala, so I'm gonna take her recommendation. I don't even think our reading like really matches up, but if she says she loves a book, I kind of take that as like, oh wow, like that must be a really, really good book if she likes it. Next, I'm sure you were like kind of expecting to see this in this haul because like I don't know anyone who isn't reading this book right now, but it is Yesteryear by Carol Claire Burke. I'm technically already reading this. I think I'm about like 20, 30 pages in. Let me see. I'm on chapter 2, which is page 41. Not bad, not bad. I've been meaning to finish this book. I'm just so bad at reading physical books, guys. Probably means I shouldn't be adding to my physical TBR, but here we are. If you haven't heard about this book, I don't know where you've been. This is like the buzziest book of the year. It's basically about a trad wife influencer who is transported back to 1855, where she kind of has to actually be a trad wife. You know, she no longer has any staff. She, you know, like she's actually in 1855. Like it's not a game. It's not just an act. Yeah, I think I'm gonna like it. I think the messaging is probably pretty on the nose, which can be a good or a bad thing, but I'm excited to finish it whenever I do. Hopefully soon, because I have already started and I would like to actually finish it. Oh, actually, another thing about Yesteryear, it took me a while to pick this up because I was calling 2 of my closest indie bookstores for like a week to see if they had it in stock, because that's how popular it was at the time that I purchased this. It was like nowhere to be found. Everyone was sold out. So I'm pretty sure I picked this up from one of those stores like the day that they got it in. I gave them a call. They had it and I went to go pick it up like maybe 20 minutes after because I was like, I need to get my hands on this book. I'd been wanting to have it and it was like so frustrating that like I couldn't find it. To be fair, it's not like I was looking that hard. I was only going to 2 bookstores. I'm sure I could have found it somewhere, but whatever. The next book I actually just purchased yesterday. I got it at Exile in Bookville, which is in the Loop in the Fine Arts Building. It's like right across from the Art Institute, basically. Probably one of my favorite bookstores that I visited during the book crawl, but I went back yesterday because my friend was in town and I really wanted to show it to her. Like, that's how much I liked it. But the book that I picked up there is Into the Blue by Emma Brody. This book is everywhere right now, kind of like yesteryear. I mean, yesteryear at this point is like past a little bit, and I feel like this is the new book that everyone's talking about. This is a romance book. I think it like spans several years. I don't know. I think I'll like it. I love the idea that like romance is kind of being, I don't know, I feel like romance is entering a space where there's a lot more intersection between romance and literary fiction. And a lot more people are reading romance, and not just like in a book talk way, but just in a like general audience way. And I really appreciate that. I also am like obsessed with this cover. I think it's so cute. I love the cover of her other book as well. I can't remember the name of it. Maybe it's like Celebrity Fantasy or something. Okay, so I was actually talking about the wrong Emma. I was talking about American Fantasy by Emma Straub, but you can't tell me that these book covers aren't similar, so I really think that we're looking at the newest trend in book covers right here. I don't know, I really like that cover as well. Next we have a book that is not fiction. It's not, well, it is technically nonfiction, but probably not in the way that you're thinking. So I went to a little witchy market. Yeah, like a little witchy market maybe a few weeks ago. I went because I wanted to visit this one store there, Roots and Ritual, which does have a brick and mortar store, but like that weekend that I wanted to go, they were going to be at this market. So I was like, oh, I'll just go to this market. And there I picked up this. It's a book on Mexican magic. I am definitely no witch, I would say. I dabble very, very, very lightly. I think it's very interesting. I think it's a lot of fun. But as someone that is Mexican, I did want to, and maybe just actually try to like practice magic, or at least not even practice. I'd say learn about magic that is more rooted in my family history. And this book is Mexican Magic by Laura Davila. I did not say her name. This next book has a little bit of a backstory to it, and that's really just that I was walking around and I was feeling kind of sad. And so I wanted to go to a bookstore because I knew that that would like, you know, cheer me up and walk around and do stuff like that. But I was trying to be very intentional about not picking up anything too sad because I was already feeling a little sad. You know, it was just like one of those days. It's not that big of a deal. So I picked up LMNOP by Mark Dunn. This is a really silly book. I haven't read it. I've read a little bit of it. The whole thing is told in letters, and our main character, let's see if it says her name. Her name is LMNOP. She lives off this island off of South Carolina, and basically they like worship this one guy, like the founder of the island. Beneath him, there is a sentence like the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. I don't know if it's every day or like every once in a while, but letters will fall off of the sign of the sentence. And because of that, the people of this town, they start to believe that that means that they can't like use those letters anymore. So like you're basically outlawed from using like the letter Z or the letter B. I'm assuming that like by the end, there's hardly any letters left. So it's like really hard to communicate. We see LMNOP like by the end of this book, you know, kind of, she's starting to have trouble sending out letters because there's so many letters of the alphabet that she's not able to use. I do think it's a really silly premise. It's also very short. I specifically picked this up because I'm pretty sure it says it is hilarious. Yeah. The result is both a hilarious and moving story of one girl's fight for freedom and expression and a linguistic tour de force sure to delight word lovers everywhere. I really gravitated towards the word hilarious that day. Obviously, I didn't finish it. I read like that much. I haven't read any of these books, guys, and that's okay. One day I'll get to them. Next is a book that is definitely not hilarious. I've only heard it's very sad, which is Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. At least I'm pretty sure it's sad. I've heard that the movie is sad, which I haven't seen yet. Obviously, the movie was super, super acclaimed and, you know, given lots of awards. And I'd heard about this book. It's been around for a while. I think it came out like 2022, 2021 even. And it was really popular when it came out as well. But something about the movie made me want to pick this up and actually read this. When I will read this, I don't know. When I will want to be sad. Like I said, I think right now, even though that was just like a sad day, that sadness can permeate, you know? Like sometimes you have a sad day. It's not necessarily perfectly contained in that day. I don't know if I really want to be sad right now. Honestly, I don't know much about this book. I believe it has something to do with motherhood. I could be totally wrong, and that's very likely. Yeah, one day I'll get to this. The next book, I think you're going to be kind of surprised that I haven't read this book because I think everyone has read this book. Like everyone and their mother has read this book. And that is Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinneman. This series is so popular. I know that. And honestly, I'm pretty sure that I will also love it as much as everyone else. On the drive up from Houston to Chicago, we did technically pick this book up on audiobook. But something about long drives and audiobooks, like kind of, I don't know, they don't mesh well together. I thought it would be nice to actually like read it with my eyeballs. Again, when that will happen is like yet to be seen. I think maybe it could be soon. I have so many books that I want to read though. I don't know if this is like top of the list at the moment, but I'm glad that I have the option to read it because, you know, since I've been talking about like feeling sad, I think that this is a book that would, you know, maybe cheer me up a little bit. I got these next two books at the same time, and I think I got a couple of these at the same time, but I'm specifically going to mention these because I got them from a bookstore in North Center called Partners in Crime. I'm sure you can kind of guess from the title, but it is a romance and mystery bookstore, and I think it's so cute. It's like a husband and wife, and then, you know, like he likes mystery, she likes romance, and so they came together and made this bookstore, and I think it's like the cutest thing ever. So I picked up a romance book, and not a mystery book, but a horror book, because I felt like I had to, right? Like I had to get like one of each genre. Admittedly, I think my horror book does have like a little bit of romance in it too, but whatever. The romance book that I got is First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. I've heard only good things about this book. I've read a couple books from B.K. Borison. I read the first two books in the Love Light Farm series. I've yet to finish. Maybe one day I will. Heard great things about this. I have a friend who's like a huge B.K. Borison fan, and I think she liked this one as well. I'm like assuming so. So I'm excited to check this out at some point. And then as for the horror book that I got Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Cañas. I've read like 99% of the Hacienda, but like technically I never finished it. It was a book that Adam and I were going to read together, and we just never finished it because we were kind of like reading it at the same time, and he doesn't read any books at all. So it is a bit of it can be a bit of a challenge getting him to also read a book with me. One day we'll finish a book together, I swear, like it has to happen. But yeah, I picked up Vampires of El Norte. I did like what I read of the Hacienda. And I think I'm gonna like this one as well. I've only heard great things about it. Like I said, I think that there's like a romance in here. I'm always happy to hear that there's a romance in a book. And then the last book, not of this haul, but of the books that I'm going to mention right now before I get into the three books that I got during Indie Bookstore Day, is Chasing the Sun by Lena Hendricks. I got this as the last chapter in Roscoe Village, which is a romance-only bookstore. It's the only one here in Chicago, and like the first one. It opened before Partners in Crime, which is like in a way also a romance bookstore. I actually wanted whatever the book is after this, but it was like very summery, I guess. Or maybe it was fall. Whatever the book that is after this was like the inappropriate season. So Adam suggested that I pick up the first book, and I was like, yeah, that makes the most sense. I have no idea what this is about, but I love books that are like kind of themed around the season. I love seasonal books. I think they're so fun, especially the fall, which is probably why I wanted the fall one. But I would love to honestly pick this up like maybe now. I don't know if this is supposed to be spring or summer, probably summer if the second one is in the fall. I think this would be really fun to pick up, and it's autographed, which is additionally very fun. Okay, and now the three books that I picked up during Indie Bookstore Day. Technically, I did pick up 4 books, but that 4th book is like a little coffee table book about medieval cats, which is worth mentioning, obviously, but I figured you guys are here for the fiction. Well, I guess Mexican Magic wasn't fiction, but whatever. Let's see if I can remember where I got these. I think most of them luckily still have like their little bookmark in them. Yeah, okay. So I got The Unselected Journals of Emma M. Lyon. This is volume 1 from 3 Avenues Bookshop. This is so short. I had just recently heard people talking about this book. It kind of came out of nowhere for me, but I've heard that it's really funny. I've heard that there is romance, and it's also told in journal entries, which is a lot of fun in my opinion. I don't know. I like how short it is. So this one I might honestly pick up sooner rather than later, just if I'm like trying to catch up on some reading goals or something. And then at Uncharted Books, I picked up If You Want to Write, a book about art, independence, and spirit by Brenda Euland. I have never heard of this book before. Uncharted Books is a used bookstore, so there are lots of older books. That's exactly what this is. I picked it up because I was interested that it was a book about art, independence, and spirit. I think that's a really like interesting combination of topics. Also, this book was first published in 1938. Like I didn't know that specifically, but when I saw when Brenda Euland like lived, I was like, oh, this book is pretty old. So I don't know. I'm very interested to see what there is to say about this topic, especially from a 1938 perspective. It's also pretty short, and it's in like really great condition because it's not a new edition of this book at all. Yeah, I picked that up from Uncharted Books. Hello? She's like, hurry up. I'm trying. There's only 1 book left. This next book I'm honestly really excited to talk about. I also got this at Exile and Bookville, which I had mentioned earlier. Again, also probably my favorite store from Indie Bookstore Day. And the reason I'm so excited for it is because I was, in a way, recommended this book by someone that I met randomly, like trying to make friends here in Chicago. There was a little group that was put together so we could like go out and hang out and stuff like that. One of the girls that I met up with, she actually has a tattoo for this book. And I feel like that is the strongest praise you can give a book, is to tattoo it on your body. And then when I went to check out at Exile and Bookville, the bookseller was very passionate about this book. Just like she said that you could basically turn to any page and you would like find the most beautiful writing ever. Like every line in this book is just so well written. I hadn't heard about it before this year, so maybe I am in the dark, which is very likely. I don't know. I'm excited that I've now learned of it, which is A Constellation of Vital Phenomena by Anthony Mara. No idea what it's about, but all I know is that people really, really love this book, and I would love to read it. Would really, really, really love to read it. So yeah, those are the books that I have picked up so far this year in Chicago. I think I maybe picked up Wuthering Heights when we were still in Houston, but that's boring. So if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I mean, I think this is probably going to be a pretty short video. I hope you guys are okay that it is a shorter and a smaller haul, and it's not a cajillion books. I'm not saying that will never happen again in my future, because it's very likely that it will, but just not today. Thanks so much for watching. I will talk to you guys a little bit later. Bye. And now I need to go find somewhere to put these books. Okay, bye for real.